met at work, and we worked together in total for about 4 years, but I think it was about the 3-year mark. He had been keeping tabs on my relationship status for a period of time with one of my friends in marketing, and so he capitalized on an opportunity, and here we are 2 years later.
Oh, at work. That was my fault. Yeah.
I had no idea that this was going on in the background, and so one day he asked her again what if I was in a relationship, and she said no. And right as he walked away, which I had no idea this was going on, she messaged me on Teams and was like, code red. We had to have like a little team meeting, and I didn't think it was like legitimate.
Well, you forgot one thing though. She said future Mrs. Mullenbach.
Oh yeah, she was already putting the pieces together. So props to her for this happening, I guess. But she was, messaging me, letting me know what was going on. Well, he didn't ask me out that day, so when he did actually come over and talk to me, I was very caught off guard because I did not think that he was actually going to pull the trigger. But I'm glad he did.
And I didn't scurry away when I asked you out either.
I always say when he asked me out, I told him I would think about it because it crossed a lot of lines for me and in HR, and so when I said I would let him know, I swear, he scurried away, but he won't admit that. Well, my first impression was very professional because I had a very clear line drawn in the sand of like work and personal. But once that kind of changed, I guess my first real impression when I actually got to know him was that he was a very sincere person.
Quiet. Just a tiny little thing, and I'm this hulking man, so petite, yeah.
And I had agreed to go get coffee or a drink. He didn't like the coffee idea, so we went and got a drink. And I was very nervous because, again, he was my coworker, and I worked in HR, and I knew nothing about him except for the fact that he had benefits and got paid on a regular basis and what his social security number is. So none of the like personal things outside of that. And so it was very interesting to get to know him, and we ended up talking at a bar for about 3 hours.
We went to a speakeasy type thing, and I didn't even know what to expect. It was a bourbon bar, and awkwardly enough, we had they were like 20s flapper dancers, something like that, and they came up and they were dancing right at our table. So we were both kind of, I guess, caught off guard, and it made it more interesting and had something to laugh about. And
I would say like my first impression, he's a very sincere and caring person, so I really appreciate that. He is funny, even though I wouldn't admit that to his face, and he's extremely just driven in everything that he does. He does it at 110%, and it's awesome to see where he's taking things in his climbing, in our relationship, now in the business that we own. So it's crazy to see how things have progressed.
her mom wouldn't agree with me, I don't think, but it'd be patience, her kindness, and her love for everybody, really. Well, I was super nervous. I think she was too, but she knew all about it because we shared a budget at the time. So I wasn't as sneaky as I thought I was going to be, but I thought it was picturesque. It was by the Cathedral Spires, one of our favorite spots. So.
Well, I knew it was coming. He's not very good at hiding things. We came out here actually, so we had not moved out to this area yet, and so we came out to the hills. It was a regular thing for us. We camped and hiked and climbed But this specific trip, he had a hike planned, and we did Little Devil's Tower, and at the peak of Little Devil's Tower, he proposed. I am so excited for our future together. We have already done so much in what I'll say is the short amount of time we've been together, and I love you so much.
I mean, words can't even describe the way she changed my life. I'd probably be living in a van, honestly. Well, I think our differences balance each other out.
Yeah, and we've always had a foundation of respect, and I think even when we have differences, it allows us to still work well together.
Paul, they didn't want me to meet you.
Yeah, we didn't want him to meet my dad. But one of the first days that he was over at my house, my dad was working on the basement, and he just like walked downstairs, and I was upstairs having a slight panic attack. When my dad works, for all of those people who know my dad and how he operates, he's a man of few words when he's in the zone, and that can sometimes be intimidating, and Nate just like ripped the Band-Aid off, so more power to you on that. But as soon as my dad saw that Nate could be an asset to my basement remodel,
Yeah.
it was a done deal. He signed me over. So.